coffee break on the HAN network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a silver alert canceled in Trumbull, an alleged purse snatcher in Shelton, and much more. Kevin Coleman has your forecast and a Nutmeg sports update, and Donna Lang will join us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, Trumbull police have canceled a silver alert for a 65-year-old woman who had been missing for about a week. Just this morning, police said that woman, Beverly Bish, was found safe in New York City. Bish, who resides in Stern Village, was last seen about 7 a.m. on Tuesday, August 8th at the Bridgeport Railroad Station, where she was dropped off by a friend. Now, police are crediting the state silver alert system with helping to locate her safe and unharmed on Wednesday morning. And an investigation of a person who was struck and killed by a Metro North train delayed service on the New Haven line this morning. Hearst, Connecticut media reports that person was struck in Port Chester, New York just before 5:30 a.m. Metro North says there were delays up to 40 minutes on the New Haven line this morning. Metro North spokeswoman Nancy Gammerman said that the person was struck by the 5:13 a.m. westbound train out of Stamford. The name of the person killed has not been released pending notification of next of kin. That investigation will seek to determine why what Metro North described as an unauthorized person was on the tracks at that time. And after working on an investigation with other Connecticut and Rhode Island police departments, Darien police have arrested a Bronx man as a suspect in a June bank robbery at Darien's Chase Bank on the Post Road. Now, Alpha Yola, 23 years old, of the Bronx, New York, was identified as the suspect in those robberies in Waterbury, Westport, and Pawtucket, Rhode Island, as well as in Darien's June 12th robbery. Darien police said he was taken into custody by the FBI in New York City on a warrant granted to Waterbury police. Darien detectives went to New York City and interviewed Jallo about 2 Darien robberies. During the June 12th robbery, the Chase Bank located on the Post Road, police said that the suspect was a black male who passed a note indicated that he had a weapon. This is a first robbery chronologically. Darien had a second bank robbery on July 11th of the Chase Bank on Norotan Avenue. Given the details and suspect images, the police department believed it to be related to that first robbery and possibly incidents in other jurisdictions. Based on that collaborative investigation with other departments, Darien police were granted an arrest warrant for Jallo in regards to that bank robbery on June 12th. Well, on Monday, August 14th, he was taken into custody by members of the Darien Patrol and Detective Divisions from New York City courts and subsequently extradited back to Darien. You can get a lot more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And Shelton police are looking for help identifying a woman they say stole the purse of a shopper at TJ Maxx. This happened back on July 27th. A 64-year-old Shelton woman was shopping at the TJ Maxx on Bridgeport Avenue, and while shopping, a woman approached her, a Hispanic female, who asked if she would try on an article of clothing for her because she had the same figure of the person she was buying for. Well, the victim agreed and tried on the clothing for the woman, but when the victim exited the dressing room, she discovered her purse was stolen from her shopping cart. Later that day, the victim discovered over $4,000 worth of charges on her credit card at the Apple Store in the Trumbull Mall. Police are asking if anyone recognizes the woman in the photographs. They contact the Shelton Police Department at 203-924-1544. And a Milford teenager was arrested after reportedly threatening an unborn child. According to police, 18-year-old Joshua Armstrong of Weppapog Drive was the subject of a domestic violence call on April 14th at 1 p.m. Police said Armstrong was charged with disorderly conduct and threatening, accused of threatening to harm the unborn child of a female inside that home during the course of a verbal argument. Armstrong then grabbed the female by the collar of her shirt, according to police. Armstrong was released on a promise to appear in court on August 15th. And Darien police arrested a Rhode Island man for throwing a brick through one of the front windows of Trader Joe's on August 8th. Police were contacted just before 1:30 in the afternoon and responded to the scene of that broken window. The brick had broken a small hole through the glass and was still inside the store, but no further damage was reported. Well, surveillance video from the Chase Bank next door showed an individual walking toward the front of the grocery store with a brick in hand. Police located him in the area nearby and identified that man as 36-year-old Charles Taylor of Warwick, Rhode Island. While speaking to police, Taylor did not admit to breaking the glass, but offered to pay for the broken window. He told the officers he needed medical attention and was transported to Norwalk Hospital. Police charged Taylor with criminal mischief, and he was released on a promise to appear in court on August 18th. And state police are looking for help identifying a suspect in a July theft in Bethany. Now, on July 22nd at approximately 5 in the morning, troopers responded to the Country Corner Diner on Amity Road in Bethany for a reported larceny. Upon arrival, the victim told the troopers that he had mechanical issues with his vehicle and was waiting in the Country Corner Diner parking lot for roadside assistance. Well, the victim stated that while he was waiting, he fell asleep with his vehicle doors unlocked, and when he woke up, his cell phone, debit card, and credit card were missing. The theft occurred between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. After receiving information that the victim's credit card was recently used at a Walmart in Naugatuck, troopers were able to obtain that surveillance footage you just saw. The suspect appears to be a black male between 20 to 30 years old, about 5'8", with a thin build. That suspect was driving a newer model tan or gray Nissan Altima. Anyone who thinks they may have any information can contact state police at 203-393-4200. All right, we're going to throw it over to Kevin Coleman now. Get a look at the forecast. Kevin.
Thank you, Kate. Today is a beautiful summer day here. Sunny skies, a high near 85. We look at tonight, clear skies with a low of 61. Tomorrow, sunny for the most part with maybe a few afternoon clouds, a high of 81. And on Friday, it's going to be a rainy day. Rain showers in the morning with scattered thunderstorms arriving in the afternoon, a high of 76. So maybe a little bit of that hurricane weather is coming up our way, Kate. That'll do it. For your weather update, back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Kevin. We are going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Ang joins us to take a look back on this day in history. Kevin has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and there's more local news after this.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
Things are heating up this summer. See some of the world's best tennis players at the Connecticut Open presented by United Technologies. Enjoy food trucks, entertainment, and special events throughout the week, August 18th through the 26th. Get tickets at connecticutopen.org.
School's out, the weather is hot, and the fish are biting. Whether you're heading to the beach or out on a boat, stop in at the dock shop before you go to fill your beach bag or tackle box with everything you'll need for fun in the sun. A new beach cover-up, some sunscreen, or just some bait, the dock shop has you covered from either location. 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. And yes, you heard that right. Bait is now available in Darien and Westport. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. DockShop.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now at the summer clearance event. Now through August 31st.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to this August 16th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. And to throw it over to Donald Ang to take a look back on this date in history. Don.
Well, Kate, the inventor of a time machine avoided time. Sort of. First, though, we're going to go to 1777. During the American Revolutionary War, Americans, led by General John Stark, rout the British troops at the Battle of Bennington, which was not fought in Bennington, it was actually fought in New York. But anyway, it was a relatively small battle, but it did deprive the British Army of more than 1,000 troops that it would desperately need in the forthcoming Saratoga campaign, the Battle of Bennington generally considered the first battle of that campaign. To 1918, speaking of small historical battles, the Battle of Lake Baikal fought between the Czechoslovak forces and the Red Army. Now, this battle was even smaller in scale than Bennington, but it was fought between 2 armed ferries and, of all things, a train. Now, it's historically interesting that, because, as far as anyone can tell, it is the only naval action ever undertaken, at least in the modern age, by the Czechoslovak people. Find the Czech Republic on a map if you want. There is at least 1, and in places as many as 5 countries between it and any other significant body of water. 1977. Elvis Presley dies in Memphis, Tennessee at age 42. Now, doctors say he died of a heart attack, most likely brought on by his addiction to prescription barbiturates. Hundreds of people had to be treated when they were overcome by grief and heat exhaustion as they stood outside the gates of Graceland following the news of his death. Finally, now we go to 1982 for this.
And I must admit, I was in bad shape at that time. I'd been struggling everywhere, trying to find money to keep my company alive.
Eventually, DeLorean would be released due to entrapment. But the damage had been done. The company would declare bankruptcy only 2 years after breaking ground on their factory in Northern Ireland. The DeLorean Motor Company was no more.
Yes, it was on this day, automotive icon John DeLorean cleared of drug charges despite a seemingly airtight government case that included video of him holding bricks of cocaine and declaring it better than gold. DeLorean was facing 60 years in prison, so the next time you see Back to the Future, the choice of car more appropriate than you think. That is your look back in history for today, August 16th, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other news, a portion of Shelton's Republican Party is looking to change the dynamics of the city's Planning and Zoning Commission, starting with who's elected and re-elected come November. Now, last week it was announced that a new candidate had earned a spot on the November ballot for one of 3 available 4-year terms on the P&Z Commission. Mark Wodomski, a Republican that ran as an independent candidate for mayor back in 2009, collected 418 signatures from residents to qualify him for a spot. Now, there was an attempt to nominate Wodomski from the floor at this year's Republican Town Committee meeting where the party's slate of candidates was announced, but it fell through because he failed to provide 24 hours notice. Now, in a final effort to get his name on the Shelton ballot, Wodomski was faced with the challenge of collecting 359 verified signatures. With the help of Save Our Shelton, a community group known for its opposition to spot zoning and overdevelopment, Wodomski collected even more signatures than were required. You can get more on that story at sheltonherald.com. We're going to throw it back over now to Kevin Coleman for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Kevin.
Thank you, Kate. It's been a long road for Darien High School. They finally, and I mean finally, will have some lights over at Darien High School. It's been a long road for the stadium lights, with first discussions happening nearly 2 decades ago and the project finally being approved over the course of the last year. And a testament to cooperation and compromise, the Darien Board of Education and Administration worked together with town officials, boards, and groups of concerned citizens to come up with the best possible way to implement stadium lighting and a quality sound system at DHS. And this fall, the switch will be thrown for the first time for our night game at Darien High School. While Friday Night Lights is often seen as synonymous with football, it will actually be varsity girls field hockey. They'll get their first shot at Friday Night Lights. That will be on September 8th. The girls will take on Fairfield Ward starting at 7 p.m. And we also want to wish the best of luck to Fairfield American, who opens their play at Williamsport in the Little League World Series tomorrow, Thursday at 3 p.m. when it takes on the Mid-Atlantic Region champion. And that'll do it for your sports update. Kate, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Well, every day in the U.S., more victims of the opioid crisis make headlines due to fatal overdoses. In fact, according to acting DEA Administrator Chuck Rosenberg, tens of thousands of Americans will die this year from drug-related deaths, and more than half of those deaths are from heroin and prescription opioid overdoses. Well, FBI Community Outreach Specialist Charles Grady will be giving a presentation about the opioid crisis to the Milford Rotary Club at their weekly luncheon this Thursday, August 17th. Grady has presented to organizations and communities all over the state to help the public understand the scope and severity of the crisis and to share stories of those who have suffered because of it. Milford Rotary Club meetings are held Thursdays at 12:15 at Gusto's on the Boston Post Road. For more information, you can visit milfordrotary.org. And in other news, the focus of telecommunications company Homeland Towers, which is working for the town of New Canaan to fill gaps in cell phone service, has changed. Their primary energy now is on protecting and maintaining some of the cell service that the town already has. Councilman and committee member Kevin Moynihan, who's also the endorsed Republican candidate for first selectman in the fall election, told his colleagues at the town council's committee meeting on August 14th that Homeland is working to determine what telecommunications equipment will be needed in Waveney Park to hold the cell service antennas that are now on the Waveney Water Tower. The Waveney Water Tower is known to be the greatest source of cell service in New Canaan, and the tower owner, Aquarian Water Company, insists that all antennas be removed from that tower by October 2018. So the job now is to figure out what sort of infrastructure will be necessary to replace the greatest source of cell service. The only one alternative is a tower in Waveney Park somewhere, according to Moynihan. Now, he said Homeland is exploring the possibility of using the wooded area on the west side of Lapham Road in the area of the Waveney Pool, but he said they would want to be nearer to the water tower, which is at a higher elevation. More on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And today at Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo in Bridgeport, U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal is joining Zoo Director Greg Dancho and animal advocates in speaking out against proposed regulations and legislation imperiling protections for endangered species. The Beardsley Zoo is home to Mexican gray wolves, a rare subspecies of the endangered gray wolf. Efforts currently advancing in Congress would remove the gray wolf from the endangered species list, threatening conservation efforts and undermining critical work to protect the beauty and biodiversity of our environment. That according to zoo officials. While missing from the landscape for more than 30 years, returning the Mexican gray wolf to the wild was a significant milestone for the Lobo and wildlife conservation efforts. More than 1 million wolves were killed in the U.S. between 1850 and 1900. You can get more on that story on any of our HAN network news sites. But we are going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now at the Summer Clearance Event. Now through August 31st.
Celebrate summer with fresh made-to-order picnic boxes from Walter Stewart's Market. We have delicious summery selections from buttermilk fried chicken to grilled lemon chicken kebab, grilled shrimp Caesar salad wraps, or lobster salad rolls. Our easy-to-carry picnic boxes come with your choice of a meal, as well as a dessert, beverage, and utensils. Order online for simple pickup options. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and online at stewartsmarket.com.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Bay Star and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
At In Sports Trumbull, the game is always on inside.
Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The In Sports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
At Pure Barre Ridgefield, our tried and true method can shape every body and fit any schedule. Pure Barre is a total body workout using the ballet bar to perform small isometric movements which burn fat, sculpt muscles, and create long, lean physiques. Sweat away the day and get lost in the music. Pure Barre Ridgefield, located at 86 Danbury Road. Like us on Facebook at Pure Barre Ridgefield.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN network.
Welcome back to this Wednesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. Trumbull police have canceled a silver alert for a 65-year-old woman who had been missing for about a week. Just this morning, police said that woman, Beverly Bish, was found safe in New York City. Bish, who resides in Stern Village, was last seen at about 7 a.m. on Tuesday, August 8th at the Bridgeport Railroad Station, where she was dropped off by a friend. Now, police are crediting the state's Silver Alert system with helping to locate her safe and unharmed this morning. And an investigation of a person who was struck and killed by a Metro-North train delayed service on the New Haven line this morning. Hearst, Connecticut media reports that person was struck in Port Chester, New York, just before 5:30 a.m. Metro-North say there were delays up to 40 minutes on the New Haven line during that time. Metro-North spokeswoman Nancy Gammerman said the person was struck by the 5:13 a.m. westbound train out of Stamford. The name of the person killed has not yet been released. The investigation will seek to determine why what Metro-North described as an unauthorized person was on the tracks at that time. And after working on an investigation with other Connecticut and Rhode Island police departments, Darien police have arrested a Bronx man as the suspect in a June bank robbery at Darien's Chase Bank on the Post Road. Alpha Jallo, 23 years old, of the Bronx, New York, was identified as the suspect in robberies in Waterbury, Westport, and Pawtucket, Rhode Island, as well as Darien's June 12th robbery. He was taken into custody by the FBI in New York City on a warrant granted to Waterbury police initially. Darien detectives went to New York City and interviewed Jallo about the two Darien robberies. During that June 12th robbery at the Chase Bank, Darien police said that suspect was a black male who passed a note indicating he had a weapon. This was the first robbery chronologically. Darien had a second bank robbery on July 11th at the Chase Bank on Norotan Avenue. Given the details and suspect images, the police department believed it to be related to that first robbery and possibly other incidents in jurisdictions. Well, based on that collaborative investigation with other departments, Darien police were granted an arrest warrant for Jallo in regards to the June 12th incident. On Monday, Jallo was taken into custody by members of the Darien Patrol and Detective Divisions from New York City courts and subsequently extradited back to Darien. He was charged with second-degree robbery, larceny, and third-degree burglary. You can get more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And Shelton police are looking for help identifying a woman they stole the purse of a shopper at TJ Maxx. On July 27th, a 64-year-old Shelton woman was shopping at TJ Maxx on Bridgeport Avenue. While shopping, the woman was approached by a Hispanic female who was asked if she would try on an article of clothing for her because she had the same figure of the person that she was shopping for. The victim agreed and tried on the clothing for the woman, but when the victim exited the dressing room, she discovered that her purse was stolen from her shopping cart. Later that day, the victim discovered over $4,000 worth of charges on her credit card at the Apple store in the Trumbull Mall. Shelton police are asking if anyone recognizes the woman to please contact their department at 203-924-1544. All right, let's get one final look at the forecast with Kevin Coleman. Kevin.
Thanks, Kate. When we look at today, beautiful sunny skies, high around 85. Look towards tonight's weather, about clear skies with a low of 61. Tomorrow, sunny throughout the morning with a possibility of some clouds throughout the afternoon, a high of 81. And on Friday, we have rain showers in the morning with scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon, a high of 76. So you get that hurricane weather coming up from the south all the way coming up, probably pushing out towards the ocean, but looks like we're going to get a little bit of the after effects. So that'll do it for your weather update. Kate, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Well, we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. Coming up at 12:30, we have CT Pulse. We talk with State Senate Majority Leader Bob Duff about the budget and a lot more. Of course, Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock, and we'll see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11